The first title is True Crumbles and Junior in Ukraine. Protesters claim 100 dead. A shaky truce crumbled Thursday as gunfire erupted at Independence Square, the center of anti-government protests and increasingly violent pursuit of protest leaders that left as many as 128 dead in recent days. At least 100 people have died and 500 have been injured since Thursday morning, the head of protesters' medical service told CNN. The Ukrainian government has not released an update figure, but the Interior Ministry said earlier that one police officer was found dead. It's unclear what prompted the gunfire just hours after the government declared a truce, but CNN crews at the scene reported that its security forces were moving away from the area. A group of protesters pursued them, throwing rocks and Molotov cocktails. Protesters broke the truce, said a statement from President Viktor Yanukovych's office. The opposition used the negotiation period to buy time, to mobilize and get weapons to protesters. When the bullets flew, several demonstrators fell into the ground. Protesters grabbed the wounded by their clothes or limbs and carried many of them to a hotel lobby at one end of the square that had been converted into a triage center. Bodies covered in bloated sheets lay on the floor, Orthodox priests prayed over them. Protest medical volunteer Olga Bogomolets accused government forces of shooting to kill, saying she had treated 13 people she believed had been targeted by professional sleepers. They weren't shot directly to their hearts, their brain, and to their neck, she said. They didn't give any chance to doctors for us to save lives. CNN should not independently confirm Bogomolets' claim of sleeper fire. On Tuesday, 28 people, protesters and police, were killed, officials said. If Thursday's death toll is confirmed, it would make it the deadliest day of the protest, which began in November when Yanukovych reversed a decision to sign a trade deal with the European Union and instead of turn that toward Russia. Diplomatic efforts underway. Beyond Kremlin's Static Center, European Union officials were scheduled to meet Thursday in an urgent session to discuss possible sanctions against the Ukrainian government, which could include freezing assets and restricting the visas of officials deemed responsible for violence in the country. French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius said on Twitter. He was in Ukraine's capital Thursday, along with foreign ministers from Germany and Poland, meeting with various opposition leaders and Yanukovych ahead of the emergency sessions in Brussels. German Chancellor Angela Merkel urged the Ukrainian president to accept European help in talks with the anti-government opposition. Merkel's office said Thursday. Russia's foreign ministry appeared to criticize Western diplomatic efforts, according to a report by Russian state news agency RIA Novosti. The ongoing attempt to be obtrusively intervene from outside, create with sanctions or trying to influence the situation in any other ways, are inappropriate, can lead to anything good but can only aggravate the confrontation. The report quoted spokesman Alexander Lukaschevich. As the protest continued, anger over the rejected trade deal with the EU morphed into resentment of Yanukovych, his closeness to Russia, and the power he wields. The violence caused political fallout in the president's own party and elsewhere. Kiev Mayor Volodymyr Mikhailko announced his resignation from office in the country ruling party, according to the city administration website. The stamp post also announced that the city's metro transit system is reopening. At the Sochi Olympics, Ukrainian athletes wearing black mourning bands held a moment of silence Thursday for fellow citizens slain in the violence of erupting in Kiev, the Ukrainian Olympic Committee said. Thursday violent developments came just hours after Yanukovych announced a truce, and opposition leaders agreed to abide by it. Opposition leader Vitaly Klitschko, a former world-class boxer, met with Yanukovych Wednesday, discussions that led to the truce. He was expected to sit down while the president Thursday as well. But after the latest violence and death, it's not clear if the meeting will still take place. Senior officials in U.S. President Barack Obama's administration told CNN Wednesday that they were bracing for Ukraine to intensify its crackdown on the pressure from Russia. Things have gotten very bad, one official said. The government is speaking in very nasty, aggressive, and confrontational terms. It signals they are prepared to do something, and at least warned there was little that outside pressure could do, especially the Ukrainian military gets involved on the side of the government cracking down on protesters. My own hunch-tech Council on Foreign Relations President Richard has, if this is going to continue to escalate. The second title. Police identify 2 Americans found dead on Maersk, Alabama, Captain Phillips ship. 2 American security officers have been found dead on the Maersk, Alabama container ship, police in the Seychelles said Wednesday. Seychelles police identified them on Thursday as Jeffrey Reynolds and Mark Kennedy. The vessel was moored at Port Victoria in the Indian Ocean. Archipelago and both 44 were found dead on Tuesday. CNN first learned about the incident on Twitter. A post-mortem will be carried out of this week in order to establish the cause of their sudden deaths, police said, adding that the police investigation is ongoing. The Maersk, Alabama was targeted by Somali pirates in an attempted hijacking of the east coast of Africa in 2009. The 2013 film Captain Phillips is based on the incident. The 2 men worked for Trident Group, a Virginia-based maritime security service firm. The company's president, Tom Rothrock, said the men were former Navy SEALs. It's bizarre, of course, it's a shock. They're all great guys. Rothrock said, I'm absolutely clueless as to what happened. Kevin N. Spears, a senior director for Maersk Line Limited, said in a statement that the security contractors boarded the vessel on January 29, and that their deaths were not related to vessel operations or their duties as security personnel. Maersk Line Limited contracts with Trident Group in accordance with U.S. Coast Guard security directives, Spears said in the statement. Contracted security is part of an anti-piracy protection plan to safeguard crews and vessels. Spears said, in Maersk, Alabama's case, she is persistently in high-risk areas since she provides feeder service to the east coast of Africa. The vessel was cleared to complete cargo operations, and she is now at anchor waiting further instructions. Senior Chief Petty Officer Daniel Tremper said the U.S. Coast Guard had been notified about the deaths of 2 U.S. citizens and is investigating. But due to the nature of the investigation, that will be about all that we can provide right now. State Department spokeswoman Mary Harf confirmed the men were U.S. citizens. The Coast Guard is involved in the investigation because the Maersk, Alabama is a U.S. flagship, Harf said. Police said the ship arrived in the Seychelles on Sunday with a 24-man crew and had been expected to leave Tuesday. The bodies were found by a colleague who had gone to check in on one of the men in a cabin at about 4:30 p.m. Tuesday, Seychelles police said. In April 2009, 4 armed pirates attempted to hijack the Maersk, Alabama 380 miles off the coast of Somalia. After the crew sank the pirates' vessel and foiled their efforts to take control of the container ship, the pirates took the ship's captain, Richard Phillips, hostage on a lifeboat. The incident ended 3 days later when Navy sharpshooters killed 3 of the pirates and captured the 4th. Phillips was unharmed. The ship was attacked by pirates again later that year, but armed security personnel fought them off. Another attempt by pirates to board the ship in March 2011 was thwarted when security personnel fired warning shots.